Hi guys, today I wanted to pop on really quick for kind of an impromptu video. Normally I don't do videos like this. I try to sit down and have it be a little bit more professional, but God just placed this on my heart pretty much last night, so I just wanted to share it with you guys. As a lot of you guys might know, if you watched my video, the last video I posted, I'm currently going through a miscarriage. I guess the grieving process of the miscarriage. It's been 6 weeks now since I lost my baby. So through this time, I've really tried to lean in close to God, but I wanted to talk about what do we do when God says no. So this doesn't just have to do with miscarriage. It could be, whether or not or if there's a house that you're waiting on that you didn't get, or if it's a breakup or some sort of loss of somebody. If you're waiting on a health or illness or something to be relieved from you, and the time isn't now, and you're waiting on that, and it's starting to get really difficult, or there's days where you just feel like you could give up. So what do we do when we're waiting on something and the answer isn't coming right away, or God's telling us not yet? So this past week in the reading from Corinthians, Paul talks about the thorn that he had in his side, and he asked God 3 times to remove this thorn that he had, and God said no. and really he wanted Paul to be able to, he says, my power is made perfect in weakness. So the more that we lean into him in our suffering, the closer that we get to him if we allow him to move in our life in that way. So I'm just going to pull up that verse here because it really hit me hard. I've been waiting on another pregnancy, even though I am still grieving the loss of my baby. But I would be more than happy to be pregnant again, of course. So in that way, I feel like I want to take matters into my own hands and be able to kind of just figure out when it's going to happen, or I'm Googling all these things, and God has just told me just relax. I can handle it. I will handle it for you. And to really take a step back, because I'm used to being able to kind of be in control of my life. There's been other times and seasons in my life that I haven't been in control, but this is my first trial as a married person, and it's my first time in a while having to really wait on God. It's been a few years since I've had to do that, so it's difficult to wait for something and to not have control over your life. And so it's 2 Corinthians 12 verse 8. So it says, 3 times I pleaded with the Lord about this, that it should leave me. I'm going to back up a little bit. So here we go. So it says, we'll just say verse 7. So to keep me from becoming conceited because of the surpassing greatness of the revelations, a thorn was given me in the flesh, a messenger of Satan to harass me, to keep me from becoming conceited. 3 times I pleaded with the Lord about this, that it should leave me. But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly of my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may rest upon me. For the sake of Christ, then, I am content with weaknesses, insults, hardships, persecutions, and calamities. For when I am weak, then I am strong. So like I said last night when I was kind of praying about just wanting to have control. It's really hard as a human not to have control, especially in our day and age, because we do have so many things that we are able to have control over, and instant gratification. I think I've talked about that before. we have just the click of a button and we can have pretty much whatever we want show up at our doorstep. Or we have all of these new advances in medical technology, so we are able to cure so many diseases that they weren't able to in the past. Google, we are able to look up anything and everything to try to get the answers. So we're just used to that as human nature in our society, to be able to have the answers right at our fingertips. And it's hard to really rely on God and to, like, you want to be able to Google, where is my life headed? But you really can't. So I just was praying about that, and in my heart, I felt God tell me, my grace is sufficient for you. And at first I didn't totally understand what he was trying to say, but I also felt like that just means, like, just wait on me, you know? So I kind of wrote down what sufficiency means. So basically, sufficiency in God means not being self-reliant. Being self-reliant is a form of pride, because like I said, we want to be able to just trust in ourselves and not have to put our trust in God. We want to trust in Google or the medical doctors or whoever, you know, to be able to give us what we need instead of just relying on God and trusting in him. We want to, or in this way, God's saying that we need to accept the hardships. We don't want to run from them, which is really difficult. I feel like I go back and forth on this daily right now as I'm kind of going through this new season in my life of waiting for something and grieving the loss of something that I had. I feel like I just there's times where I'm at peace, thankfully, and I have joy, but then there's other times, you know, it could be a second later and I'm just back into this like anxiety of feeling like I need to run away and I need to fix it because I can't sit there and just wait for it. So we need to really just like dig our feet in and just face the hardship that we have in front of us through prayer and really relying on God to be able to get us through it. So we don't want to run away, because then you miss all of the beautiful things that come when we align our suffering to God and we offer it up, like I've talked about in the past. So yeah, rely on God to provide for us in his perfect timing. God is perfectly capable of everything Paul needed to endure the suffering. God is perfectly capable of providing everything Paul needed to endure the suffering. So God knows what we need more than we even know what we need. He knows the desires of our heart, and he will fulfill that in the right time. And this is something I've been able to see now with my husband, because I think, as I posted in the video of how I met my husband, you know, I was going through this season of a breakup and a loss, and I didn't know where my life was going or how it was going to be made right. And God fulfilled me by giving me my husband, and just so much more than I could have imagined. You know, my life just completely took a 180 and provided me with so much better than what I could have even asked for. So I trust that God will do the same in this situation. And I know that when God says no, you don't always know why that is, but there is a greater purpose in that. And I think I'm planning on making a video about all of the things that we've seen already through this process of going through the miscarriage in the future, because there have been a lot of little Easter eggs, I call them, but just ways that I've really felt God speaking to my heart. And yeah, so I'm gonna make a video about that in the future. But yeah, so basically that's everything. So I just wanted to pop on and just talk about that really quick, because I don't know, I think hopefully it'll help somebody to try to just put their trust in God and not try to take it upon themselves to figure out what's going to happen in the future, because really none of us know. Whether you're waiting for something or you're kind of just comfortable where you're at, which is great, but we don't want to just stay comfortable, because we always have to lean on God. Even when we feel like we know exactly where our life is going, a second later, things can completely change. So rely on God, trust in Him, and that's really the only way to get through this life, because we all will go through suffering at some point, and the way that you handle the suffering is really important, because we don't want to waste it. So yeah, so I guess thank you guys for watching. That's about all for today, and I will see you in a future video. All right, bye.